Israel intensifies southern Gaza offensive. UN urged civilian protections. Israel largely captured the northern half of Gaza in November, and since a week-long truce collapsed on Friday they have swiftly pushed deep into the southern half. An Israeli soldier gestures towards a tank crew member as it crosses a road, as part of the convoy, amid the ongoing conflict between Israel and the Palestinian Islamist group Hamas, near Israel's border with southern Gaza, in Israel. Israeli forces pressed ahead with their air and ground bombardment of southern Gaza Strip, killing and wounding dozens of Palestinians, even as the United States and the United Nations repeatedly urged them to protect civilians. Asked on Monday about the mounting death toll since a truce collapsed between Israel and Hamas on Friday, Israel's closest ally the United States said it was too soon to say whether Israel was doing enough to protect civilians and that it expected Israel not to strike zones it has identified as safe. "We have said it repeatedly. We are saying it again. No place is safe in Gaza, whether in the south, or the southwest, whether in Rafah or in any unilaterally so-called safe zone," he said. Mediterranean coast and towards Rafah, a town near the Egyptian border. Desperate Gazans in Khan Yunis packed their belongings and headed towards Rafah. Most were on foot, walking past ruined buildings in a solemn and silent procession. In Washington, a State Department spokesperson said it was an improvement that Israel was seeking evacuations in targeted areas as opposed to entire cities. U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said Washington expected Israel to avoid attacking areas identified as no-strike zones in Gaza. He said the U.S. had discussed with Israel how long the war with Hamas should continue, but he declined to share that timeline. A senior Israeli official said it was taking the time to order more precise evacuations in order to limit civilian casualties, but that Israel could not rule them out altogether. "We did not start this war. We regret civilian casualties, but when you want to face evil, you have to operate," the official said. Over 100 of the hostages seized by Iran-backed Hamas were freed during a 7-day truce last month. Israeli authorities say 7 civilians and an army colonel died in captivity, while 137 hostages remain in Gaza. The Gazan Health Ministry says about 900 Palestinians have been killed since the truce ended on Friday. Israel accuses Hamas of putting civilians in danger by operating from civilian areas, including in tunnels which can only be destroyed by large bombs. Hamas denies it does so. The Wall Street Journal reported on Monday, citing U.S. officials, that Israel had assembled a system of pumps that could be used to flood Hamas tunnels. It was not clear whether Israel would consider using the pumps before all hostages were released, according to the story. In the West Bank, Israeli forces killed one Palestinian man and critically wounded another person in different areas on Tuesday, the Ramallah-based health ministry said.